It's a question that has haunted US presidents, 5 US presidents. What does Vladimir Putin want? Does he want war? Does he want respect? Or is it all about strategy? I would say a bit of everything. Let's start with war. Does Russia really want to invade Ukraine? I'm not sure about an invasion, but Putin would certainly like to control Ukraine. It's part of his grand project, rebuilding the lost Soviet empire. And don't mistake this for communist romanticism. It's about power, not about ideology. Here's what Vladimir Putin said about the Soviet collapse in 1991. I'm quoting, "First and foremost, it is worth acknowledging that the demise of the Soviet Union was the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the century." Remember, he's talking about the 20th century. We had 2 world wars, genocides, imperialism. But Putin believes the Soviet breakup was the worst catastrophe of the century. And he intends to reverse it. Ukraine was a Soviet breadbasket. It produced 25% of all agricultural output in the Union. So Putin's grand rebuild begins with Ukraine. In July this year, he wrote an article about Russian and Ukrainian unity. It was less of an op-ed and more of a love letter. Listen to what he wrote. I'm quoting again. "Russians and Ukrainians were one people, a single whole. I would like to emphasize that the wall that has emerged in recent years between Russia and Ukraine is our great common misfortune and tragedy." This is Putin. He goes on to write about Ukraine's history, about shared heritage and culture. It's basically a case for reunification. Now, some of you may ask, why Ukraine? Why not other Soviet states? Because Ukraine is slipping away from Russia's hands. Look at Belarus or Kazakhstan. They're both former Soviet states, but they're also loyal allies of Vladimir Putin. Ukraine is not. It is a growing democracy that wants to join NATO, and hence it is becoming part of a military threat. If Russia cannot control Ukraine, the West cannot either. That is Putin's strategy. He does not want NATO troops in Ukraine. He does not want NATO missiles in Ukraine. And most importantly, he does not want Ukraine to join NATO. These are Putin's demands, and reports say he wants them in writing. He wants NATO to stop expanding eastward. Will Joe Biden agree? No way. As a senator, Biden supported Ukraine's NATO membership. The White House may have tempered his support, but he cannot offer what Putin is asking. No US president can promise to clip NATO's wings. It's a non-starter. So why is Putin making this impossible proposal? To extend this crisis. Foreign policy, you see, is a major selling point in Russia. The people love all the saber rattling. They also enjoy propaganda about Russia's glory days. Putin is delivering exactly that. Domestically, it helps him tighten his grip over Russia. And globally, it keeps him in the news, at the center of world affairs. Vladimir Putin did not become president to be sidelined. But that's exactly what the US is doing. They have reduced Russia, by the way, to a secondary threat. China is now the main villain for them. But Putin disagrees. He sees himself as an equal to the US president. It's a classic case of your reach exceeding your grasp. So to answer my first question, what does Vladimir Putin want? Many things. He may not want war, but he wants control. He doesn't want diplomacy, but he wants respect. And most importantly, he wants the West to vacate his backyard. And to be fair, nobody likes a rival expanding near them. But how do you respond, and how you respond, is an important indicator. Russia has responded with violence. It annexed the Crimean Peninsula in 2014. It violated Ukraine's sovereignty. It continues to do so. Moscow is arming and funding separatists in eastern Ukraine. It is not a choice between the West and Russia. Even Ukraine does not want to make that choice. It is being forced to by Russia's aggression. This is about a long-running history of proxy wars, big powers making pawns out of sovereign states, big leaders using neighbors to satisfy their egos. We saw it in Korea, we saw it in Vietnam, we saw it just now in Afghanistan. Putin and Biden will sit comfortably in their offices, chatting over video call and playing checkers with the country's future. The Cold War may be over, but its evil legacy lives on. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.